Good morning, everyone. You're welcome to today's family service. And today we're in observance of Father's Day and Juneteenth. My name is Gerald Matsuda. I'll be your MC for this morning. We will begin with the ringing of the temple bell, or kansho, that signifies the beginning of a temple service. It is a deep and sacred ritual steeped in ancient tradition. It is a calling of the people to come together to listen to the Dharma, or the teachings. The temple bell represents the gratitude and deep appreciation of the members, friends, and guests of the Windward Buddhist Temple. Please sit and remain quietly in your seat. At this time, I'd like to call Reverend Barbara Brennan. She'll say a few words about the June 16th.
Thank you, Gerald. Many of you probably know that tomorrow is a very special day. It is a federal holiday, and it is called Juneteenth. How many are aware of what Juneteenth is? Terrific. It marks the day when the last enslaved people in the United States learned that they were free. For generations, Black Americans have recognized the end of one of the darkest chapters in U.S. history, with joy in the form of parades, street festivals, musical performances, and cookouts. And on the news last night, it did show a gathering, including one of the main officers in the military, and he said that, they try to celebrate as best they can, although they are a very small population here. The U.S. government was slow to embrace the occasion. It was only in 2021 that President Joe Biden signed a bill passed by Congress to set aside Juneteenth, or June 19th, as a federal holiday. It started with celebrations beginning with enslaved people in Galveston, Texas. Although President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation freed the slaves in 1863, it could not be enforced in many places in the South until the Civil War ended in 1865. Even then, some white people who had profited from their unpaid labor were reluctant to share the news. Laura Smalley freed from a plantation near Belleville, Texas, remembered in a 1941 interview that the man she referred to as Old Master came home from fighting in the Civil War, and didn't tell the people he enslaved that they should have been free. News that the war had ended and they were free finally reached Galveston when Major General Gordon Granger and his troops arrived in the Gulf Coast city on June 19, 1865, more than 2 months after Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Union General Ulysses S. Grant in Virginia. Granger delivered General Order Number 3, which said, "The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor." Slavery was permanently abolished 6 months later when Georgia ratified the 13th Amendment. And the next year, the now free people of Galveston started celebrating Juneteenth as an observance that has continued and spread throughout the world. Events include concerts, parades, reading of the Emancipation Proclamation. So tomorrow is a federal holiday, and we can really respect the people that it's in honor of. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Barbara. Learned a lot from that little bit about Juneteenth. I was just telling Lori that I tried to take the quiz on CNN.com. There's a 10-question, how well do you know Juneteenth? And I only got 3 answers right. I didn't even know which amendment was the correct amendment, and I didn't even know President Biden was the one that officially made it a national holiday. Okay, let's continue. Please rise for the meditation, and we'll follow that by the chanting of the Vandana Ti-Sarana by the congregation and in Pali and English. It's found in the red Jodo Shinshu book on page 7. Please be seated, everyone. Today's sutra is verses Reaffirming the Vows, and it's found in the Red Jodo Shinshu service book on page 117.
I have made unrivaled vows and will reach the highest path. If I fail in any way, may I not attain Buddhahood. Should I not provide to all for countless kalpas to come, aid in times of suffering, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will reach enlightenment, but unless my Buddha name reads throughout the universe, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will practice the noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed, seek to reach the supreme way, be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of the three poisons and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom I'll remove the darkness of ignorance. I will close all evil paths, open gates of highest good. When I attain Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands, light brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly lights, giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone. I will proclaim the Dharma like the roar of a great lion, bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows. I shall be a guide to all, like the wisdom of my teacher. May my wisdom also shine all throughout the universe and illumine one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all hands tremble with joy from the heavens. Wondrous flowers rain down of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida
Please rise, everyone, for the recitation of our pledge. And this is found in our WBT Supplemental Service Book, page number 44. Okay. Everybody ready? Okay. Reaching out to others.
I will share a smile and gentle words, just like the Buddha who always calls out with aloha, breaking away from my greed, anger, and ignorance. I will try to live in peace and harmony, just like the Buddha who shares tranquility and kindness with all. Moving forward from self-centeredness, I will share a life of joy and sorrow with others, just like the Buddha, whose caring heart always embraces us. Realizing that I live because of others, I will strive to live life to the fullest with an attitude of gratitude, just like the Buddha, who embraces us all. Namo.
Please continue to stand for the Gatha, gentle hands. And that is found on that separate sheet that was issued to everyone. Please be seated, everyone. This morning, our speaker is Mr. Bob Nishita. He's a member of our temple. Bob?
Well, good morning, everyone, and people who are watching us on the video, good morning, and happy Father's Day. You know, I had 3 versions of talk today, and, you know, I usually try to practice right after I give a Dharma and try to think of what to say. And so my first version was, I was thinking, I'm going to talk about the journey of my life, and then for 2 weeks I started thinking, and I go, nah, I don't think so. And then after that I was thinking about 2 people I wanted to talk a story about. All up until May 15th of this month, last month, I had it all planned, printed out everything, and all set. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, I missed a step here. So Russ to say something. Can we all put hands together and sing for gassho, for aspiration? If the mind is dominated by hatred, the best part of the brain, which is used to judge right and wrong, does not function properly. Dalai Lama. Thank you. Namamidos. To continue my stories, I'm so excited to tell you my story. Anyway, up until May last month, I was all set to tell you a story about two people. Then I had a tap on my shoulder. How many of you know Jiminy Cricket? I have a Jiminy Cricket. He tells me, Bob. Try to ignore him, and he goes, Bob, do you know when you're going to talk on that day is the day, what day that is? I start thinking, yeah, Father's Day. Well, the two stories you're going to talk about does not relate to Father's Day. I said, oh, shucks. So now what I'm going to talk about? Well, you can talk about your dad, right? Jiminy Cricket talking to me. So I said, okay, yeah, I guess so. So here's my story of my dad and I. Kind of embarrassing, but bear with me. When I was 3 years old, I was playing game with my dad, my brother, and three of us playing game. And you know, as a 3-year-old, you keep losing, you're gonna get throw a tantrum after a while, right? And I did. And my dad go, "Kura!" You know you're gonna get scolded when after that word, right? And I think, yeah, what did I do now? But actually, I knew what I did wrong, right? But before I tell you what he said, let's imagine you as a father, a child, a 3-year-old, acting up, throwing tantrum. What would you tell your 3-year-old son so that you be behaving? But instead of telling you exactly what my dad told me, I'll give you two examples what might be. One father might say, you know, I'd like you to see your goal, to reach your goal, try to win, but you gotta realize that winning is not everything. You cannot win all the time. So you gotta realize that sometimes you lose. Just like in life, you know, you don't always get your way, but you always, like nobody, like anybody else, you will cry about it, softening in your heart, like, what went wrong today? I mean, all of us do that, but nothing in life is 100%, and yet we all think, why didn't this go right today, you know? So the father might always tell the child, say, winning is not everything. So take it in life as one step at a time, as a learning step, right? You make mistake and you learn one step at a time, day at a time. And a second father might think, instead of telling him all that, get to the point and say, winning is not everything. Be prepared that life is full of up and down in life. And, you know, as I go through thinking about this for 73 years went by, or 76 actually, I'm thinking how life changed, and I'm sure everybody will tell a different story depending on what time in your life, how to talk to your child about what happened or what life is to be. So I thought I'd share with you. But you know, as I look back, I was crying so hard, I'm thinking, I don't remember anything what he said. I kind of remember, but not an exact word. And I felt kind of bad because I let him down. He will say, I treat you, how can you think you're going to remember everything? Like that, I go, well, I think I did because of the fact that my dad always told me a good bedtime story. And looking back, I thought, how I let him down by being such a bad boy. So after that, I changed. Well, sometimes I still be, but mostly. So I thought I'd share with you my Father's Day, what I share with my dad. And I wanted to tell you the story about what Dalai Lama mean by hatred. We can control our hatred or madness. It's like speeding when you're driving and you look at your speed and say, oh, I'm going 30 miles when it's supposed to be 25, right? And just like your hatred or getting mad at people, you can control that, but your emotion runs a while and you get mad. I was thinking of one way, good example, I was thinking that as I drive home every Sunday from here to Hawaii Kai through Waimanalo, from Flamingo Road up to Waimanalo Beach, people trying to come out of the side street. I'm about a third car, and if anybody in front of me let the car who want to get out, then it's okay, but usually they don't, so I stop and wait. You don't get this idea, so I give a highlight, then he go. Sometimes I get a shaka sign saying, I got it, thanks, or sometimes they're so in a rush, they're not saying anything, right? And you're thinking, gee, I let the guy go, they give me a thank you sign. But why get mad? If you're gonna get mad, don't do it. Then you avoid getting mad, right? And what else you can talk about getting mad? Yeah, that's a good example, I think. Let me end the story of empty cup I saw on the YouTube, and I think I sent some of you. And if I didn't say it properly, you can go on a YouTube and type in YouTube, the empty cup. It's a story about Koji, I think his name was. I forget the name now. Anyway, he was trying to study to be a good Zen Buddhist. And he looked it up on the internet and found this reverend to be a good Zen Buddhist, so he went to the temple. And as he got there, the apprentice said, just sit here, I'll let you know when the master is ready to call on you. As the master called him, he got an interview, and Koji wasn't ready to be interviewed. He said, how am I going to answer this? He wasn't sure how to answer, but he answered best as he could. And the master kind of knew that he was nervous, so he kind of changed tune and said, okay, let's have a tea. The master gave Koji the tea. As he drank, the master gave tea again. As he kept on pouring, Koji said, wait, master, the tea is going to spill. The master said, you got the message. You empty your mind just like the cup. I keep feeling unless you empty a cup, you're not going to be listening to me. So we can relate to this in a temple where after the kansho is, the MC will say, oh, be quiet when the kansho is ringing. The person will ring for 7, and in between the 5 and 7, the kansho will go out like climbing the mountain and climbing down the mountain. And then between 5 and 3, same thing, climbing the mountain and climbing down. The last one is 3 rings, loud, soft, and loud. When the last 3 is rang, you empty your mind so that you can listen to any speaker that comes to you. I remember one minister saying, when you listen to a Dharma, you listen to a Dharma as if you're listening for the first and the last time. And listen as if you listen for yourself, not for someone else. And if you think it's good for someone, don't say, oh, this is good for you, just like you insulting that person, right? So, oh, I heard a good Dharma. You should listen and think, what do you think? Tell me what you think. That way you're open and not telling the person, oh, you should listen, like, you pointing a finger at that person. So, thank you for listening to my Dharma message, and Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob. Hey, can everyone please rise for the Shinshu Anthem? And this is found in the Brown Praises of the Buddha book, page 147. And then what happens is we'll continue to stand for the Nembutsu, and that is found on page 135 in the red Jodo Shinshu book.
May the wisdom of the all-compassionate one so shine within our hearts and minds that the mist of error and the foolish vanity of self may be dispelled. So shall we understand the changing nature of existence and reach spiritual peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Okay, please be seated. This concludes our service for Father's Day and Juneteenth. Okay, next we'll have our announcements. We'll call on Dennis Tashiro.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Bob, for that wonderful Father's Day message. I think I remember when I was 3 years old, too, but wasn't very good memories. My dad was rather strict, but I still miss him a lot. Thank you, Reverend Barbara, for leading the service. David, for being our greeter. Joy, for playing the piano. Jennifer did a great job on the kansho. And of course, Brian, doing our YouTube video today. Today's refreshment is being provided by Team B, led by Dana. As far as guests, we have Henry back again. Welcome back. And we have Emma Fujikawa, we haven't seen for a few weeks. You can stand if you want. And after being missed for a few weeks, welcome back, Cookie. Thank you for everyone who visited the Waimanalo Japanese Cemetery. We placed flowers on the graves and held a Obon memorial service. It was a beautiful day and a beautiful time out there. Let's see, next Sunday will be our remembrance service. So if you'd like to remember a loved one who passed away in the month of June of any year, you may do so during that remembrance service. Please add your name to a list that will be on the greeter's table. And if you have a picture, you're welcome to bring that, then we could leave it up here. As part of Father's Day, all fathers and fathers wannabes, we have fruits for you. We have peaches. Once we're in the social hall, we'll pass them out. Let's see. I'm going to call up Reverend Bert, but before I do that, any announcements? Cynthia, you had something?
Just a reminder that next Sunday is the last day to drop off your donations for our rummage sale at the Bon Dance. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, Roy.
We have Tapuan for sale for $5, Bitter Melon for $6, and look at this week, next week, until Obon.
Okay. Don't sell out before Obon. Okay, let me call up Reverend Bert. He'll talk about the Buddhist flag. How many of you were aware that there is a Buddhist flag?
Morning, everyone. By the way, before I forget, this coming Monday, tomorrow, we're not going to have our practice sessions. And then Thursday, we're not going to have meditation either. So we're going to start next week. So I'd like to introduce this Buddhist flag that we have acquired about 3 years ago. And I went to, if you recall, I went to India about 4 years ago. And while I was at Bodh Gaya, that's where the Buddha attained his enlightenment, there was a Sri Lankan office there, so I went there just to find out where I can get a Buddhist flag. And there was this official in that white uniform there. And so I asked him about it, and then lo and behold, he said, I'll give you one. So we took a picture of the flag that we have right now. And so today, with the help of the Kiwanis Club and Neil Yamamoto in particular, we have the flagpole up, and we'll hoist the flag this morning. Incidentally, 2 weeks ago when they had the foundation, and I was here for meditation, so I went out there to look, kind of nosy, right? And I heard this chirping. What is that? There was a chicken there that fell into that hole. I said, what are you going to do, So I went over there by the hedge and broke off some branches. I thought I was going to fish it out, And somebody went in here and got the tongs and took it out. But like these wild animals, when humans touch them, the other animals, they kind of leave them alone. So the poor little chick was tripping all around looking for the parent. Parent just walked away, and a pitiful sight to see, But anyway, so the next slide will show you the Buddhist flag, and I want to explain that too. This flag here was actually created by a retired American colonel by the name of Steve Olcott. This was back in about 1868. And he was a staunch Buddhist, Theravadan Buddhist. He lived in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka, as you know, was a profound Buddhist country that was founded by King Ashoka's son. King Ashoka sent his son to Sri Lanka. At that time, it was called something else, Ceylon, was it? Ceylon? Something like that, anyway. And anyway, he created this Buddhist flag. So this Buddhist flag has its various colors. And let me explain that to you. The horizontal stripes, first of all, represent the world's people in harmony, peace, and happiness. And the vertical stripes show the continuous tranquility of the Buddhist community. So that the blue represents compassion, the yellow represents the Dharma, the red, virtue, the white represents purity, and the orange represents wisdom. The 6 colored lights of the Buddha, that Buddha radiated at the time of his enlightenment. So the blue light rays radiated from the Buddha's hair, pervading the cosmos with love, compassion, peace, and happiness. The yellow, golden light rays that radiated from the Buddha's skin. The middle way, free from the extremes of permanence and nihilism, the Dharma. The red represents the red light rays that radiated from the Buddha's flesh, displaying excellent realization from practice and virtuous merit. The white represents the white light rays that radiated from the Buddha's bones and teeth, displaying a genuine accomplishment without flaws or stains, along with the truth that the Buddha's teachings on the nature of liberation are ever present. And the orange represents the orange light rays that radiated from the Buddha's palms, heels, and lips, the power of wisdom and the brilliance of the Dharma's rich essential meaning. So that's a brief explanation of the different colors of the Buddhist flag. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Bert. Before you go to have your refreshments, let's all go outside and we'll watch as Neil and Miles will be raising the Buddhist flag. Okay. So let's do the words of Thanksgiving found on page 126 of the Red Service Book. We are truly grateful for this wonderful food, a gift of life. May we share its benefits with all beings. As we partake of this food, let us remember Amida Buddhist compassion, which surrounds all people and all forms of life. Namo Amida Butsu. Itadakimasu. Thank you. So just follow Neil and Miles.